What's up, you guys? It's your boy, the Chocolate Bay, y'all. Okay, this is gonna be a quick video, a quick rant. I just want to say, stay safe from COVID, you guys. Try to use precautions, wash your hands, try to stay in as much as possible. Go out only if you need to. But I just want to say, y'all, I've been in the healthcare field for over 15 years, and I've had some this week. Well, not just this week. I guess throughout my career has been very challenging. But y'all, this week has been just challenging. Now I'm working with a client that could be very demanding with stuff, and they report like I work hard. You guys, I go beyond to try to help people. Try to prove myself. Just try to make sure I do a great job and please my clients and the company. But this week has been very crazy, and the client, they complained like regarding my performance last week. So when I came back from bereavement Monday, only took a couple of days, went home and came back. It was a huge issue regarding some performance issues that were not necessarily my fault. And I feel like when I started with this client, I could tell that it was kind of gonna be a little bit, it could be a little bit cumbersome, like regarding questions, answers, just procedures, just stuff that they wanted and demanded. But I feel like I don't understand how people of color, how we've been doing it this long. And I think a lot of people unconsciously have implicit biases where they assume that, where they go from experiences possibly from the past, stereotypes of who they think people of color are that necessarily aren't true. They just think this way unconsciously. But I've been having issues with this group, like regarding my performance, and I'm like, look, I go beyond. I work over the weekends, I work throughout the day, I work when I'm off, and I don't understand what the issue is. And I had a meeting with them prior regarding questions that they had, things that they didn't necessarily like, and then I just let them know exactly, look, this is how this is, this is how this process is usually ran, these procedures, this is how this works, you have to do this, A, B, C. I don't understand why this is being done because it's normally done this way. So I was just trying to explain to them and get everything out, my, frustrations. But I don't understand, like in these work environments, y'all, where it's predominantly Caucasian and it's only a couple black people, like not even a handful. I just don't understand why we have to sort of make ourselves palatable to please people, why we have to go beyond, why we have to try to prove ourselves. And I think a lot of these companies have implicit biases where they see us and they assume that we're not going to be as good as, we're not going to meet their standards, which is not true at all. And I just think just from those biases, it's an issue with stuff that we do. Even if we go beyond, even if we work harder, even if we work over hours, it's still going to be an issue with our performance because they have unconsciously those thoughts regarding who we are as people of color. And I just think a lot of times it could be unconscious nonetheless, but those still thoughts are there. And I just don't understand how we've been doing this long in this workplace. And even I was reading statistics, like people of color, like in predominantly big corporations or in certain positions, we don't last long. We end up leaving. And I just think that we have to make ourselves palatable. We have to try to please other people, which are predominantly Caucasian. However, they don't please us. Like regarding who we are, our thought processes, questions that we might have, our expertise. It's almost like a lack of respect. So it's just, I don't understand. It's becoming, y'all, just difficult. And I don't understand how we have been doing this long. And I understand what the implicit bias is, but I don't quite understand it. Why we have to change who we are, our verbiage, our vernacular to try to fit a certain demographic of people. Nonetheless, they don't change stuff for us. They let us know exactly who they are, plain and simple, when we meet them. And I just think that we're taught to go to school, go to college, blah, 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 get your career together. But it just doesn't end up that way, being people of color in a predominantly workforce where people don't look like us. They're predominantly white. So they don't look like us. So just trying to prove ourselves, work harder, it's not even worth it almost. People still assume that we're a certain way or we don't meet up to the standards. And also a lot of these companies have what do they call it? Not minority groups. They have inclusive groups or diversity groups, and I don't think that even helps. I think in the workplace, people are scared to talk about race and color, so they don't. But they have these groups that are supposed to accommodate, I guess, changes or increase the influx of diversity, but I don't think they do. I don't think they do. Being a person of the LGBT community, I just think that it fits those standards regarding gay white males, not necessarily black people or gay black men. I don't, or lesbian black women. I don't see it in that way. I just see that it only promotes a certain, particular person or group of people, but not people that necessarily look like us with this dark skin, with this hair, with this skin. No. And I don't understand why we try to please and do all this stuff and our needs aren't being met. We told to do all this stuff and it's still a struggle. It's still a struggle to prove yourself. You're not looked at as an asset, almost like a liability. We don't look at you for your expertise, your education. We just look at you almost like a workhorse. Do this. Do what we want you to do. This is what we say. It's becoming very difficult, and that's just not my personality, y'all. I don't understand how we've been doing this so long. It's becoming like a lack of respect almost. I don't get it. And I've seen people in the workforce. I have a colleague now, a black guy, that knows his stuff, and they promote other people, Caucasian people, over him with less expertise, less experience, less everything, and they don't even look at him at all. Like, I just think it's shameful, and I don't understand how we allow this. Like, it's very difficult, and I just feel like we have to prove ourselves. We have to change our verbiage, our vernacular to try to fit in, and it's still not good enough. It's still not good enough. I was just reading statistics where, like work parties or just work entertainment things, how a lot of people of color, black people, we don't go. Like, it's just very uncomfortable. We don't open up regarding our private lives. I know I don't. And I understand why. It's just a lack of inclusion, diversity. They might make it seem that way, but it's not so palatable, like, regarding the workforce. And I don't know how y'all do this for 10, 20, 30 years. I can't. Y'all, it's not going to happen. I'm like thinking of different avenues to venture off and do other possibilities or other things I want to do, but I just don't understand. Like, I can't how people do this for 20, 30 years. I can't. And a lot of us, like, we have great ideas and thought processes, and it's just not going to be sit there, shut up, and do as I say. That's not going to happen. Like, it's just, it's not going to happen. But y'all, that's just my rant. It's becoming very difficult, and this week has been tough. Like, y'all, tough. In meetings with people, and I go beyond, and I don't understand how we have to change who we are to, like, we have to be interchangeable for these workplaces or the work environment, and it's still not even good enough. I don't understand why other people can be who they are, but people of color, black people, we can't. In the workplace, we can't, and still being interchangeable or changing who we are is still not good enough. It's still not the standard. We still feel uncomfortable. We still can't talk about race, diversity, or inclusion. We still have to be sort of like a minority in a workplace where we have the credentials and the qualifications to even be there. It's still not good enough. So I just, you guys, that's my little rant. And also, I see why people want to make YouTube their career. I just can't see myself doing this for 20, 30 years. Like, I'd rather have my own insight, my own vision, get on my own platform with YouTube, and just try to generate funds. But I just don't understand. Like, I just couldn't do this. I'm thinking of other ventures. I see why people of color want to start their own businesses. And I just think that's an excellent idea, opposed to working for a company where you're underappreciated and your credentials, your expertise, your education is not valued. And I see why people do what they do, like regarding race relations. I really get it now. But comment below, y'all. Peace and blessings. Peace.